All right, so the reason I've been gone is because I'm a dad now. I just had triplets. And I was gonna be one of those parents that was gonna be like, oh no, I'll never show my kids on the internet, but I'm gonna show y'all. So we have the firstborn, Enrique, beautiful child. He was born at 10:26 p.m. a few days ago. We birthed him at Home Depot and we got his clothes from Walmart. We're frugal parents, at least I am, single father. Then we have Manuel right here. We still haven't got any clothes from Manuel, but he's a beautiful child. Whenever he popped out, I was just like, God damn, my jeans is strong as hell, man, because this boy look good, but we need to get him some clothes so he's not out here naked. And then last but certainly not least, we have Vivian right over here. We got her clothes at Home Depot. No, oh wait. We got his clothes at Walmart, her clothes at Home Depot. We just haven't put her in them yet. She's just kind of like sitting in there. We haven't repotted her yet, but Vivian's beautiful. She has a lot of character to her. She's gonna give some of y'all sons hell. I know that for a fact, but these are my 3 kids. I'm probably gonna have about 6 because I feel like having a big family is dope, except for like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna hurt my pockets, but I can work. But yeah, that's pretty much my life update. I think I'm gonna update the rest of this room too, because now that I have these kids, I need to revamp my space. Like, it's mandatory.
Room Makeover 2.0 is in full effect. I won't lie to you guys though, the parts aren't gonna be parting like they were last time because the room is not done. I'm doing this as it's happening, so it will be a little bit slower to come out, but just rock out with me. I promise you, it'll be worth the wait, I guess, or worth watching. One of them, both of them actually. All right, so I know I did the room makeover the last time I got this bug, but realistically, I never really finished my room. I kind of just left it where it was, and it was a big step up from where it originally started, but I do feel like I need to finish it just to kind of close that chapter, because for me, this room has been my very first like project like this, and I would hate to leave this space unfinished. So I feel like in order for me to kind of like close this chapter of my life, I have to finish this room. So first things first, since it is the end of the year, that means it is vision board time. This is kind of like my first time making a vision board, but the reason this one is extremely materialistic because I kind of feel like material things can be more than just the materials. Like, they can be symbols for your life, like the car you drive, the things you buy, the things you wear. I feel like they're kind of like symbols of the internal work that went in to get those external things, right? In order for me to be a person that drives the car that I want to drive, I have to do certain things internally in order to get there externally. So that's why this initial board is primarily material things. I mean, we do have some sort of like loftier goals and other things that aren't even necessarily goals, or just reminders, but that's just how I approach this vision board. It's just, all right, what things do I feel like are far out enough for me to have to change as a person for me to reach? And that's kind of where I went with it. So I went ahead and got the vision board printed. Instead of making it out of cutouts, I went ahead and got it printed at Walgreens on a 24 by 36 inch canvas. And I'm using this poster holder from Walmart that was like $5 to put it up, just because that space between my bed and that wall isn't that large. So I didn't want a nicer frame that would protrude out more that I could possibly like walk by and like kind of graze and knock over. So that's why I went with this frame, and it kind of still fits the vibe of the room, so I'm not mad about it. And also I wanted it to be really close to my bed, just so like literally when I'm going to sleep or when I wake up, I can look over and that'd be one of the first things that I see. So I think that it was a pretty good placement, but in hindsight, there are a few more places I probably could have put it, but I'm kind of content with it. So man, I swear I'm the builder, but something about this just looks a little bit crooked. Even though I checked it out a few times and it looks to be fine, I just feel like it's not straight. Or maybe my eyes are crooked, I don't know. But we still have more work to do with this room, so stay tuned. All right, so I'm back on daddy duties, and it is time to finally get these plants in some clothes. And also, we have 2 new plants to introduce. We have Ricky and Shania. You guys will be seeing them here shortly. Before we repot, I have to go ahead and trim these plants a little bit. We have some leaves that aren't doing the greatest, and I heard that you have to trim those leaves just because they take nutrients away from the healthy leaves. Honestly, I was thinking that maybe if I keep on watering it and hit a little fertilizer, they come back to life, but I don't think that's how plants work, but it's always sad to see a leaf go.
So this is the real problem, child.
So Enrique's haircut went really smooth. He was pretty healthy. We just had to chop a few leaves off. Manuel though, that boy's going through it. I definitely should have repotted him much earlier than I did, but I'm a new father. This is all new to me. And on top of that, I just couldn't find clothes that really fit him. But in hindsight, now that I think about it, I should just put that boy in some clothes, because obviously he was out here shivering. Now I gotta cut off half his goddamn leaves. As for Vivian, she came down with a pretty bad case of cut that leaf the fuck off. It was sad to see one of those leaves goes, because she doesn't really have that many leaves, so any leaves that she loses is like 10 leaves from the other kids. but at least I got to do it. You know, I performed the amputation, and she's healthier because of it. But she did lose another leaf after this, if I'm being honest. But she's still looking pretty good. I'm looking at her right now. She's really healthy. Man, by the end of this series, y'all gonna be calling me Numb Cannon, because I just keep on having kids. But this is Ricky. This is my fourth born. He's actually my favorite, if I'm gonna be honest. I know you're not supposed to have a favorite kid, but Ricky, definitely my favorite. But Ricky did need to get some of his leaves trimmed off, just because he's a very mature plant, so some of his leaves were getting old. So last but certainly not least, we have Shania. Shania is a beautiful child. I can't keep on saying this, but she looks just like her damn daddy. She's one of my only kids that doesn't stay with me. She stays downstairs, but still, she has such a big personality that like I can't even see her being in my room, just because I feel like she kind of like take over the show. So she kind of needed her own band. I'm still kind of learning how to manage Shania, because I don't know if I'm supposed to let the flowers fall off or I'm supposed to cut the stems off and then let like new flowers grow from the plant. But I ended up cutting them off, not in this video, but in a later time, just because they were looking pretty bad. And I don't know if I'm not supposed to do that. I should just look it up, honestly. I don't know why I'm asking y'all, but we're still learning. So if that was not what I'm supposed to do, charge it to my head, not my heart. As far as my repotting soil, don't copy me, because I don't even know what I'm doing. I just saw this bag at Walmart and I already had a bag, and I decided to mix them up because it kind of felt like they went together. One was a little bit more like soily, dirty, and then the other one was more chunky. And I felt like, oh, well, having the two will kind of help the plants drain well. And especially since I'm sizing up most of these plants, I want to make sure that they drain as well as possible. I'm not trying to have no root rot.
This may be a little bit too big, but we're gonna give it a shot.
So when it came time to repot, I was actually kind of nervous because I did not want to be the next Casey Anthony. I'm going to be the reason that my kids stay here, not the reason that they leave. So the process actually went pretty smoothly. All the plants were quite the right size to move into the pot that they moved into. Some were a little bit smaller. But one thing that I will say is if you are going to repot a plant and you want to get all of the soil out of the root ball, it'd probably be a good idea to soak it in water for a little bit so it can loosen up that soil, and then you can get most of it out, because the process that I used wasn't that great. Had I had a little bit more time, I would have just soaked them, like using a little sprayer to kind of like spray some of that soil loose. It made a hell of a mess, and it got a good chunk of the soil out, but it wasn't worth the trouble, honestly.
Now this one I'm actually pretty nervous about, because this is a 12-inch wide pot, right? But depth wise, it's not much deeper than this. So that's why I'm not necessarily too scared about putting this plant in here, even though this is a 8-inch planter that it's already in right now. And that'd be going up like, what, 2 sizes or something, I guess? Sheesh. My goodness. Maybe it was time for this plant to, to go to a bigger pot. So I think 12 may not be too big. Yeah, you're gonna spray this one out. Kind of feel like a geologist doing this. Spraying the roots clean, kind of like spraying some fossils clean or something. I don't want to like rip it too much, but I'm trying to break it apart just a little bit. But low key, it feels like it wants to stay together. So you know what, man? That's what we're gonna let it do. This is my crown jewel. Don't let me down, baby. Looks pretty nice. All right, so I'm gonna try to semi-repot this, even though I already repotted this one. This one's been repotted since probably day one, because I like this potting mixture I got going here. So I'll see if I can kind of pull this out and add some, some of the new mixture to it. We'll just make a mess, because why not? Nice, that kind of came out smoothly. Nice.
All right, so after I was done repotting the plants, I was gonna put some fertilizer in it, but I decided to just use the insecticide that I bought from Walmart, because Ricky has bugs, okay? That boy got fruit flies. And also, I was using the fertilizer before with the other 3 plants that I first had, and I feel like that may be why Manuel was struggling a little bit. I may have been over fertilizing him and burning out his roots, but we're just gonna give it a break for now. And on top of that, since I put them in new soil, they're fine. The soil's fertilized, so they should be good on food for at least 6 months according to the bag. But you know what I'm saying, when they get hungry, I'm gonna feed them. So that is it for this episode. All my kits have closed and they look amazing in them and even better in their spots. And next episode, we should be doing a lot of work to the actual room itself, not just to the plants. I got a lot of stuff in, so we're gonna be in Nom the Builder mode. But peace. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you later.